Let's check out all the final scores from the Banquet event. We also have the question of when will the rewards come in for ranks? Well, we can answer that. The Summon Advancement rewards are out, but be warned, there is a secret issue which you might not have seen. New fight stage confirmed for the new update coming next week, and much more. Hello everybody, welcome back to the MCN for Wednesday. Now, I've got some work to do with my background setup, so yeah, it's going to be a bit messy for a bit of a time. I'm going to work on that this weekend, put some comic books up there. Also saw this on Twitter by White Mummy, who puts a load of wanted posters. If you've seen the Marvel Contest of Champions tweet about the wanted posters, then you'll know exactly what this is all about. I thought this was really cool, especially because, look, I'm there. I'm sandwiched between MSD and Legacy. So, yeah, for I'm wanted, dead or alive, for 1 million units. I think some people would actually trade me in for 1 million units. Probably my wife. In any case, hit the like button, subscribe with post notifications on all. Do those things. Support the channel as you do going into the new year of 2023. In any case, Summon Advancement rewards. That's the thing that's going to kick off the show today. Now, we did talk about this actually the last MCN, and there was a response from Kabam on it, which Kabam Jack said, today is holiday at the studio and it's closed. Rest assured, we'll get a look into this first thing tomorrow, which was yesterday, the 3rd of January, in order to kind of like get rewards, back to people. Now, you might have noticed if you went into your messages that there was a message saying, Summon Advancement rewards. Now, there's usually 2 messages that come with it, or there's 2 segments to it. You might be wondering, okay, where's the other segment? And this is something I do advise, is go into your rewards section and it's there, right? And claim it via there. I don't know if this has happened for anybody or everybody, but go and do that just in case for whatever reason it might go. Now, I had that in the message, I clicked it, you saw it red, it was claimed and stuff like that. But for some reason it didn't properly claim. So just a forewarning of that, go and check out that beforehand, just to make sure you have collected that Summon Advancement rewards correctly. Now, we had a nod to it in the last time we saw a reveal trailer, and that was a new background fighting stage. There's not been many new stages. I think actually the one in, it was like a Krakoa / Danger Room type or Cerebro-y type X-Men orientated one. So it looks like we've got ourselves a new fighting stage. This is like a Langurian type palace that's been a little bit destroyed. You can see that in action right now. So this actually looks really cool, really sick, and really well done. And yeah, I'm excited to see like more of these. I would like to see more stages in MCOC. It just feels like there's like background artwork could be done a lot more. Just change the vibe, and also interaction based stuff. That's one thing that I was hoping for the future of MCOC is like, well, imagine if you can like, I don't know, throw a candle or something like that, or kind of like interact with that in some sort of way. Debris is falling in some sort of ways. You've got to stay into certain segments, and then after that you can move into each other. That would be really sick, but yeah, all these years Kabam haven't thought about doing that just yet, and I hope that Kabam would do that. But still, good to see a new fighting stage. Astute among you will notice that there looks to be a new version of Guillotine. Now, first of all, when I looked at this though, it kind of felt to me that this was more kind of Guillotine 2099, with that being Queen Hassan in the middle. If you don't know, Queen Hassan was the one that turned into Morning Star, and at the end is Purgatory. Now, looking at this, first of all, as I said, I was like, oh, is this Guillotine 2099 because of like the way it just kind of looks a bit robotic, armor, whatnot, is it? But then the more you kind of think about it, the more like it could be some sort of Doom, or a kind of like a mesh between the pair of them, because we did talk about this earlier in the year, that there was this kind of imagery of a kind of guillotine, but kind of like evil guillotine, like at the age of like the early ADs, before maybe the likes of Queen Hassan, and also like there looks to be some kind of like other types of people behind, like some minions of some description. So again, don't know where this kind of like fits into stuff. Is something back in the day that it's a Doctor Doom kind of clash type thing, because it looks like kind of a Von Doom of description. It's like a guillotine Von Doom, and a kind of a mesh of the two of them. quite possibly, but quite possibly not with that. But it definitely looks like it's a new guillotine of sorts. And the really cool thing is, like, if you don't know, Gabriel Frazera is the old creative director of Kabam. He's left last year, sorry, and that was yeah, that's pretty sad, because there's a lot of things when it comes to story expansion, especially with Aegon and as well Guillotine, where I'm like, I'd like to know, I'd like to see more of that, especially kind of like imprinted in the game, because that was the uniqueness about these characters within for Kabam, is like they were unique. It wasn't a case of like, and yes, there was things like the Overseer, and yes, okay, Purgatory, but it expanded universes more so for the Langurian, Latverian kind of like stuff, especially as we've got other characters coming in. So it would be nice to see like some new original characters for the Marvel Universe being added in, which they were doing, and then it all seemed to like kind of, well, stop for a time. In any case, to the point, Richard, yes, to the point. When asked the question if it's a new Latverian kind of guillotine, while JX asked that question, it's responded back with, yes, it is. But and that's all well and good, and that's positive, but at the same time, Gabe doesn't work for Kabam, and sadly, it kind of leads to this response, which is whether or not we'd see that character, which was Gabe saying, not sure. I had plans for the character and other Guillotine universe stories, but now that I'm gone, I'm not sure if it's going to be in Kabam's roadmap, especially since I don't think I ever told her story to anyone. So yeah, that puts it in kind of like a doubtful kind of like, well, thought whether or not it will actually come into game, and it's just there, I think, just as maybe a nod to that. Visually, don't know if it was designed, so that's the thing. Is it visually designed and with Kabam? Is it a case that it's visually designed but no story? Because that's the thing, there's no story with it, so we don't know much about that pre-Queen Hassan, pre-Morningstar, and definitely pre-Guillotine kind of story, but it would have been nice to kind of like know if that was a thing. Now let's move on to a double parter about the Banquet event. As a lot of you know, the Banquet event ended yesterday, but as well, with it ending, people want to know when the rewards are. Yes, as it says right here, please allow up to a week after the conclusion of the Banquet event for rewards to distribute. This time will be used to find, ban, and remove rewards from cheaters on the leaderboard. And do bear in mind, I'm sure that people were like, oh, well, there's not meant to be many kind of like scammers and cheaters, but there were a lot of, well, more like modders and cheaters, because there's still things that could still be run in the game. Whether or not it's a unit-based bot in things like Arena, whether or not there's people that have been doing things and acquiring units rapidly through like mods and cheats, which again, people do, and whether or not people are doing fraudulent credit card fraud, same thing, whether or not they're doing that, it's still a thing that can be done, regardless of like how things were done before with kind of units being unloaded, people leaving alliances and adding stuff in. Look, there's ways to cheat in this game. So if you're like, oh, I want the rewards and want the rewards now, that's fine. But if you want them now, you have to get them with people unscrupulously getting stuff they shouldn't have had. In a case, Kabam will filter through those particular accounts within a week and have hopefully this wrapped up by Monday of next week. More than likely, it will be later than that one, but it depends how fast Kabam are going to be working on stuff, because I think today is going to be the first full day that they're back, or the second full day that they're back. So yeah, it just depends on what's on offer, because we've got new information coming out of what's being dropped next week, so they'll be pretty fine-tuning that stuff. Part 2 to this is final scores for the Banquet event. Now, we don't know that just yet. I will be next week trying to get as many bits of information as to units invested. You can probably get that, to be honest. I could probably have a good idea to go, okay, well, if you take 4,000 and divide it by X amount, but then people might gift things to one another, so that kind of throws out. So maybe I'll ask how many units were kind of like spent in all this. But yeah, I decided to up my score. I was going to push to 200k, but then I thought I had to like scramble together to get 300 units, and I want to take a break away from Arena just for a little while, just so I don't burn out from the game. I do want to play Battlegrounds when it launches today, as opposed to Arena, just because again I just don't want to burn out at the start of the year. I do want to grind Arena, and I have to grind Arena, but I need to get an idea of what the rewards are next week when they're released. I think a lot of players as well, to kind of figure out how many units will you need to grind this year to do July 4th deals, Cyber Weekend deals, and the Banquet event. So I think that's going to be something that you know, a lot of players, not just myself, are going to be interested in that, and I want to make a video on that particular topic. but to the point and points. As you can see here, there's a lot of points being dished out by different people for what they got, what they're trying to shoot for. And a lot of people the thing is, it's a very difficult time to predict with this particular event because there is extra inflations of points. As I've said before, if people kind of cottoned on to that, is that you would have to, when you thought that you would be investing, you know, 300,000 points, well, no, you're doing 400,000 based on the GBCs, which add an extra 1k, which they didn't do last year when they were greater gifting crystals. So people have been upping points versus last year. Definitely seen a lot of people putting a lot of points in. I mean, 610k. That's some serious. Well, it's not serious though. Obviously, we've seen more from other people. 650k there, 430k. Thinking I'll be top 1%. I spent like $600. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But hey, wish everybody all the best with that. I'm definitely glad I pocketed the $600 and invested into my stocks and shares. I'm having a good time with that. 1.2 mil, no clue where this will place. Lower levels not included, but lots only aiming for the milestones, so it's a complete unknown. But with 1.2 mil, that's more than milestones for sure. But yeah, a lot of people doing different things. If you're non-spending, you're going to be looking for kind of like a chart, of course, of how much to save. As I said before, like saving units throughout the entirety of the year. A lot of people go, oh, you know, no, I'm not going to do that, and oh, it's too grindy. The thing is, as soon as you start, as soon as you like put little amounts in, little amounts add up to bigger amounts when it comes to doing stuff. I mean, though, for me, I went non-spending last year and had 12,600 units still for this particular event. I did 21,000 units for the Cyber Weekend deals. I did 10,000 units for a deal that dropped after Act 7.4, I want to say, or something like that. And I think I did something else. But in any case, that was enough. Like, Cyber Weekend deals were better than July 4th deals. But in any case, lots of points being put in. We'll try and look at some rewards versus points investment unit spend breakdown next week. But I will require some help from you all with some details and data. But as I said, I'll need the rank, I'll need the points, and I'll need the unit spend. I kind of work out the things between the points and the unit spend. It's just a case of like the rank and what was got with that. So that's what I want to do, and that data will be really important to help players out not next year, this year, which is so weird to say, Banquet Event 2023. So yeah, excited about doing that. So now Kabam haven't posted the champion, which is the feature champion, so it could be literally anything. A Guardians champion, maybe not a Guardians champion, and hitting up the basic is going to be Gorr, so at least we know that. And predictions wise, again, a tough thing to predict, especially with recent arenas. There's not been a huge amount of information to go off, especially when it comes to the basic, and we've had some very key basics. I would say with Hulkling, which recently went for 112 mil for position 52, it puts me into a territory of going, right, well, let's go with this champion, 80 mil for the 6-star, which is a bit much, but it is a desirable champion at the moment. And the 5-star version, well, let's go with something close to 22 mil. Could be a case it's 20 mil, but there you go. 80 mil and 22 mil for the 5-star. So that's the prediction there for that champion. I'll repeat these predictions probably on Friday when Kabam have kind of updated some stuff, or we know who the feature champion is. That has been your MCN show for Wednesday. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks to those that support the channel as a YouTube member and as a Patreon. You're on screen now. Also those that support on Twitch. I should be live streaming today. I do want to do a Battleground stream, but I'm just figuring out some time frames and some other work that I need to get completed. But in any case, that's that. And finally, check out some other content which will be located on screen right now, and I'll see you all in the next video, whenever that will be as well.